old people are doing mythicism again and doing this mythical figure thing that's going on because Ant Edwards went and shook hands with the ops. Let's Ryan Clark explain the old head mythical logic to him. Let's go.
I love Ant, but what he did last night, that ain't the move. That ain't the fighter. That ain't the dog. That ain't the competitor. You don't walk over to another team's huddle with 8 minutes left in the game, down 30 plus, and hug everybody and congratulate them.
Again, revisionist history. By the way, I do want to bring this up because it's relevant. Udonis Haslam and Blake Griffin said they never saw it before. That is a lie. You've seen it many of times. You have seen it plenty of times. It happens. It happens not often, not by a star player, but we have a player that we're going to mention later on that does it. And he's the second best player ever. Or first, depending on how you feel about it. He did it in 2018. So that's not true at all. And this surrender thing is different. But that ain't the point I want to get into what he says, because this is not about mythicism. This is just me disagreeing with Ryan Clark on how I feel about and all that. But to Udonis Haslam's point, as a teammate, you was a horrible team. That man played with 2 bum knees, and he wasn't even supposed to play till the day he was supposed to come back. I think was today or yesterday before he could even play. But he came back in 9 days and played, and he's the only reason you won the 2 games you won, besides Wemby shooting bad and then Wemby getting kicked out. But winning wise, he scored 11 points in the 4th quarter, and he had a crazy game in game 4. The only games you won because his other 2 star players scored 3 points. Who has the right to tell him that what he did wasn't leadership enough? Who on that team? The other 2 stars only scored 3 points. They didn't help him at all. But again, I digress. It's a disagreement. This is a disagreement. It's not what the main video is about, but this is like the function of the main video.
And I get it. Like, he's an absolute superstar. Puts the ball in the bucket. He's charismatic. He's fun. He's magnetic. But that don't win you championships. Think about the other greats. Isaiah Thomas, when he was swept by Michael Jordan, that was a passing of the torch moment. They could have hugged and they could have said, hey man, best of luck. Them dudes walked out before the game was over and walked right past Mike. Now, I get it. It's about sportsmanship.
Well, Ryan, you've told us many times on your pivot. I like the pivot, though. Shout out to you. That's why but this is, like I said, this is a disagreement. But this whole thought process of that is everybody criticized that. That was a horrible look. Isaiah Thomas got hated on for that for the rest of his career. He got kicked off the Olympic team for that. Same act that you say. That same dog got him ostracized from everybody. Other people already didn't like them for the attitude. They were known. They had a bad name for that. And I get it. You want the dog in you. But you're going to say something in a minute that doesn't make sense when you talk. Because, again, that team was amazing. As a team, they were amazing. And by the way, do you want your kids acting like that? As a person who I know involves kids, do you want your kids walking past somebody? By the way, the game wasn't over. They just walked past them in 1991 and didn't mention it. You showed the clip. So do you want your kids acting like that, right? Is that how we gonna do this? Is that what we want in our sport? Is that what we want in basketball? Because cool. And next, you don't talk to nobody. Don't talk to the media. Cuss them out. Matter of fact, we don't. What is this sportsmanship? What is this like professionalism that we have? Because apparently they don't like it when you congratulate the other team because it's weakness or something. But when you walk out, it's great. So let's all just be dogs. I don't want to talk to y'all. We do, to be fair, we do like it when Marshawn Lynch did it. But he's Marshawn Lynch. He got like a pass because we all love Marshawn. Let's continue.
And even Mike said he would have wished they could have shaken hands or whatever it was. But sportsmanship and surrender are 2 different things. Kobe Bryant, one of my favorite moments of his is when they lost to Detroit 4-1 in the finals. And late in that game, in the 4th quarter, Kobe Bryant is picking up full court, right? Full court on defense. He know he can't win. He know they're not coming back in this
by the way, I got
series, but he knew eventually he was going to be the leader of that team. And how are people going to look at him? How are people going to feel about the way that he competed, the way that he fought, the way that he continued to say that I'm going to do everything I can possibly do to show this team I will not quit? And quit. And the coach had quit by that point, but it was Luka first.
I want to talk about this point before we get to this point. Let's break this point down. Kobe did this because he would not quit. He refused to quit. He is a man that would never give up, right? He would never. This is, by the way, this is after, by the way. You can't see this right now, but let's make everybody can read what is happening here. Let's do this. Bryant just quit, and the Suns and Clippers played on May 9th, 2006. Yes, in the second round of the playoffs, Kobe Bryant is criticized for quitting. This is after what he's saying, by the way. He is criticized for quitting. Let's go. Great news. Of course, for the Clippers, who began round 2 of the playoffs without Kobe Bryant. How awful would it have been for the Clippers to have signed the guy finally to make the playoffs, only to learn Kobe Bryant is liable to tank it at any time. The fact is, the Lakers' last performance, the best scorer in the game, can no longer be trusted. In the 7th game of the playoff series, a game in which Kobe scored 23 points in the first half, Kobe Bryant returned to the floor with the Lakers down 15 to take 3 shots and score 1 point. What if he had taken the same approach a few years back when the Lakers found themselves down 15 in the 4th quarter, only to rally and win and eventually claim NBA title? This is a criticism of Kobe, by the way. This is a legit criticism of Kobe Bryant. Not saying I agree with it, disagree with it, but this mythical never quit attitude that somehow everyone has, when it comes to all these players, is incredible to me. These people never quit. They never did this. Kobe Bryant would never do something like this. Who does these things, right? It's no heart in it, because Kobe would never, right? Then you give a great example of Kobe showing heart, but you kind of don't show when he didn't show heart. And by the way, for context on people that don't know, Kobe left that game because people called him a ball hog. He scored 40 points in the 2 previous games, and people criticized him for shooting too much. So he scored 23 points in the first half, and in game 7, by the way, game 7, and said, you know what? I'm just going to be a assist person. And people lit into him for quitting. But as old head revisionist history tells you, old head revisionist history would tell you Kobe never in his life would have done something like this. Kobe Bryant would have never quit. Kobe Bryant would have never done this. Michael Jordan, nobody would have never done these things. But again, this is that mythical crap that people put in their era that we all forget. It's revisionism. We get it. It's a psychological term for it, in which we choose not to remember when people do. Like, for you, I love Kobe. And this is not an attack on Kobe. This is an attack on the media and how they portray this past mythical creatures. Like, they never did wrong. They never missed a game-winning shot. Kobe Bryant has one of the worst game-winning field goal percentage ever. LeBron has one of the best. But who's known as clutch? But it's because of his mentality, and I get it. By the way, it's all because of the mentality, him wanting to take the last shot, him never wanting to lead the last shot, all that stuff. I get it, and that's the whole point of it, and I'm not critiquing that. Kobe was a dog, one of my favorite players ever. The mentality, I love that mentality. I listen to Kobe videos all the time. Kobe one of the only people I ever cried that I didn't know when he passed away. So this is not a criticism of Kobe. This is a criticism of everything these people put up there in history when they revisit everything and don't do anything else. Speaking of, he brought up another point, by the way. He did. So before I even take this off, let's go over this one. Because this is a response to Udonis Haslem them and him. This is the second best player ever right here, right? Second best player ever. He's going to this is 4 minutes in the game. 4 minutes left in this finals, by the way. He's losing the finals. He goes and shakes everybody's hand, but we never seen it before. Ryan Clark and everybody else. This is not just an attack on Ryan Clark. I'm just using this video as an example of what a lot of people said. So Ryan Clark, I have a question to you now, my brother. Are you going to say LeBron is not competitive? Because you can't call out Ant. You can't give us a Kobe reference. And I just gave you 2 examples of when they did it. And then to Udonis Haslem and everybody else, I just gave you an example of when LeBron did the exact same thing Ant did. They was down, it was like 100 to 70 something, and they had no chance. So this criticism to me is like weird. It's just a way to create more narrative. And Ryan, I love you, but lately, a lot of times I think you just get on the internet to state opinion that you know is gonna get some attention. And then you're probably gonna, if you probably see this video, you're probably gonna apologize for it, which made me upset because I know I see it in your eyes how you feel when you say it. And then you end up being right, but you apologize because some reason you seem like a people pleaser, my boy. I love you, but you seem like a people pleaser. You seem, oh, I'm getting hate for this. Let me apologize when I know you meant it. Ryan Clark, you are a dog. You are a Pittsburgh Steelers legend. You changed rules, my boy. And you talking like this. And I get it, though. I get it. But let's talk about this point. This last point before we got the video.
It was Shea next. And now,
by the way, he beat Luka. He beat Luka as well. He brung this up. Luka first. You got beat by Luka. He beat Luka the next year.
It was Shea next.
And
now it's Wemby. How many of Anthony Edwards' peers are going to send him home before either he does something different or the Timberwolves have to do something different? We know he's an absolute star. But what we saw last night, that ain't it. Wemby wouldn't have walked over there.
First off, I don't know if Wemby would have allowed to. I doubt it. But first off, Wemby going to be dominating so many games I've ever seen. But my point is, you just showed a bunch of teams that had better teams than it. Listen, Minnesota, I love their team. Good scrappy team. They can beat Denver. They can beat the Lakers. They can go against. They on that second tier. But when you look at the talent on that OKC roster, and you look at that talent on that Spurs team, let's look at this. Rudy Gobert and your two other All-Stars. Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert had 3 points. Wemby's other All-Star, Castle, had 32. His other All-Star had 21. This third player, or fourth, depending on how you feel about Dylan Harper and him, had matched Ant scoring. In a game when he's trying to shoot over 7-6 man. He matched his scoring. Who's matching Castle's scoring? Who's matching Wemby's scoring? His 2 second-best players scored 3 points. Shout out to Nas Reed and Terrence. They fought. But let's be honest, without Dante, with him, he had 2 bad knees. You're criticizing him. With 2 bad, this man actually fought for his team. Something a lot of players that criticized him, if we go look at their history, you didn't do. You're like, oh, I don't feel like it. I'm not feeling it today. But again,
because Wemby ain't got no friends. Some point, I ain't gonna have to go out there and say I ain't got no friends either. It ain't just about dunking on you. It ain't just about scoring on you.
Like, he's not winning this series. This is my whole problem with him. He was never gonna win this series. His team not good enough. Without Dante, without him being 100% healthy, they had no shot. Even with both of those things, let's be quite honest. With both of those things, they would have depended on Wemby settling for 3 or Wemby getting kicked out to have a chance in this series. And they would have had a chance because he did 2 of those things. But when they was locked in like they was in game 6, I don't care what if his knees are good or Dante is there. They have no shot in this series when Castle and Fox is determined. Last night I saw something from them two that I didn't see for most of the series. They growing up in the playoffs, which is scary. Fox went to the rim and didn't hesitate to decide if he's going to score a pass. He has done that the entire playoffs. He's done that a lot of this year. But he said, I got a rim, I'm doing that layup. Oh, this dude jumped in front of me, I'm passing. He with no hesitation. He didn't think about it. He just did it. And Castle just, you leave me over, I'm shooting. A lot of times he hesitates, should I get this shot off or not? He shot. Listen, when them 2 guards decide they just going to do whatever, because Harper doing his thing anyway. I just need him to stop turning over the ball when he go across the middle. But you don't have a matchup for that. They don't have no one for that. I love McDaniels. McDaniels and Julius Randle game goes to mid-range and low post. Shooting that fadeaway. Getting in and shooting a hook. Wemby eliminates that for his team. Unfortunate, and I think OKC gonna have a little problem with that. They're gonna have to figure it out, but I think they can shoot a little better from the 3. Dante, like I said, they would have had a chance to win with the young mistakes they had. Because Dante can shoot Nas Reed can shoot the 3, and all that. So they would have had a chance. But at the same time, it would have required any mistakes. But if they own, they have no chance. They would have got beat by 20 or 30 regardless. So you critiquing a person. And the same thing with OKC. They couldn't match OKC. They got little players on the squad that can't score. So to say why you can't match your peers, that's like saying why Michael Jordan couldn't. Michael Jordan, you this great player. I'm going to tell y'all a secret. What Ryan Clark just said about Ant, and this is not a comparison, it's exactly what they used to write about Michael Jordan. Yeah, you can score, but you can't beat your peers. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and Isaiah came in right before you. They won championship. What you doing, Mike? You supposed to be Jesus in basketball shorts. The exact same thing you said about him is a dude you mentioned. And I specifically brought up every person you mentioned in this video to dispel every narrative you created. It's the same thing they said about Jordan. You can't just score, Jordan. You have to do more. This is before he won a championship. You can look it up, by the way. This is what the articles they used to write. You saw the article about Kobe quitting. That Kobe would have never. Kobe quit in the game because people pissed him off. Nobody would ever shake the other team saying LeBron, the second best player of all time, did it. Anything else? You brought up the Pistons, and for some reason you prefer this unsportsmanlike over surrender, even though for some reason the coach don't get criticized for surrender when he took the bench out. This narrative that somehow you quit on your team when the coach clearly gave up the game. You waved a white flag. It's confusing. And stop being mythical with all these people. Every time I listen about some old player, y'all give me this mythical thing that this player never would have done this, or this never would have happened. It's not real. It's not true. It never happened. Y'all just making it up. It's false. You are just creating this image of this person that's not true. Michael Jordan had bad games. It's true. That's what happened in life. No one talks about it, but he had bad games. I think he had one bad game in the Phoenix Finals. Now, Michael Jordan, his mindset make you love him, and it's easy to forget. It's cool. LeBron has had bad games. Every great player has had bad games. But to criticize a man who came back early, who is not healthy. By the way, I don't know if you even looked at the game, but when he does layups and he made shots, he would limp. He did it the entire series. He has bad knees in both knees, and he played his heart out. To criticize this guy after and say he ain't got a dog in him, disrespect, get out of my face. I don't respect it, and I don't care about your opinion on such topics. And by the way, it's all love still, but I'm just telling you on that topic. Bow down, my guy. Let me know your thoughts. Keep stumping. Something amazing can happen. Peace.